A buru, a boye, a boshishe. This is a Deo Kun. I'm here representing Dudu Temple, Dudu Botanica, original creator and founder. So, yeah, I've come from behind the camera. Normally, I'm behind the scenes, making sure everything gets together. But I just wanted to give you a more intimate, kind of like introduction per se, or conversation today about Dudu Temple, how it got started, where was it, where is it going now, and what we see for the future for Dudu Temple, Dudu Botanica. So, as you all know, well, you don't know, I'm the original creator, founder, Dudu Temple Botanica, Dudu Temple in general. So, the website that you see, most of the content that's behind it, well, the new content that'll be behind it, most of it, yeah, it comes from this guy. Yeah, this guy. Also, you can also catch me on TikTok. I do the herbal videos where I pick a herb of the week, herb of the day, and I kind of tell you the properties, what it's good for, what you can mix it with, and stuff like that. So go check it out, Adeo Kun on TikTok. Same guy. I'm just behind the camera. I normally don't be in front of the camera. So anyway, let's just hop into it. Dudu was started St. Petersburg, Florida, where I was currently living at the time. I've been traveling in Ifa for about 8 years now. I was introduced to my godmother, Miss Rhonda, through my godmother, Miss Rhonda. At the time, she was just now getting into it. And my Aluo at the time was Fernando. He was one who gave me my hand Ifa at the time. Hence the name, the loving name that was bestowed on me at that day was Adeo Kun, which means he who wears the crown. So, and that's a big thing. Learn what your names are. They'll give you names you don't even know what they mean. So anyway, just to take you, I've been through a journey with Ifa. But I just want to kind of bring you into my world on why, I decided to do this. So just to be frank, why I decided to do it was because I was hitting so many roadblocks myself. So many different kind of like scams are out there. What came with Ifa, because of the distance of the information. So you got people in Nigeria. I'm saying it's all over the world at this point, but most of it is coming out of Nigeria. Most of the top people are in Nigeria at this point. You got other people that's over here that still learn from people from Nigeria. People go back there to, they get crownings and they get all kinds of stuff from Nigeria, and they come back and they kind of, whatever they learn in that brief period of time, they kind of try to teach and do. And it's one of those things, some of those people over there, they've been doing this since they were babies, man. And by the time they're 12, these guys are fluent in this stuff, and us in the West, well, they call us us in the West over here in America, man, we just not equipped at the time, and us being adults, and these people are doing it from yay high. They've been hearing these things over and over, so they're able, they just on a different level when it comes to us. Now, fast forward to us, we trying to get the information from them, and the people that we mostly come in contact with, they just kind of like prowl on you. Like, there are some good people out there that you can learn from, which there are some. Following me through my journey, you'll kind of hear me mention certain people that I think are really great, and they really have good information to be able to like put you in a good direction. But ultimately, the ultimate thing with this is to be able to do a lot of things on your own and kind of change things in your life through the teachings and the lifestyle of Ifa. So back to it. Dudu Temple was founded in St. Petersburg, Florida by myself. At the time, it was an idea that I had from coming into so much conflict with the information, as far as getting the information, so many roadblocks, getting information, and being able to practice, finding like-minded people who practice it, and learning the difference between traditional and the other forms of it that people do. So there's so many different forms now. And that just, and the forms just come from one person learns it, they come here, they put their own little twist on it, and it just becomes something new because it kind of strays from what it originally was. And so, hence, Dudu today. So the whole point of it was to kind of bring it back to the traditional and to keep it there, the traditional way of doing things. And so I got in touch with a guy named Ifa Baleki at the time, and we kind of bounced some ideas back and forth. So I kind of shared my story, and he was already doing some things on I think Facebook at the time, but it was under a different name. He wasn't using the Dudu name. He was using something like Awo Gang Gang at the time, and he had like a little group, Ili Dean Bay. So he had his own stuff going before this kind of conspired together to be something that it is now and what it is now. So I put the idea out there. We kind of bounced around some names. I came across a name that was I thought it was kind of funky at the time, Dudu. And it's kind of like lovingly known name for Oshun. And the lineage at the time was kind of like an Oshun lineage from Oshogbo. So the name was kind of like a play off of that, where the name came from. So I decided to run with the name. I kind of liked the name. It was different. It had a little swing to it. It was short. It was different. It was catchy. People could, kind of grasp it. So I thought that was cool as far as that perspective goes. And then, the rest was history, man. I just started putting it all together. After, fast forward a little bit, you see the website. Fast forward a little bit, you started seeing the classes come up. And, on Zoom, I opened up a Zoom room to kind of like get online classes going. And then me and a long-term friend of mine got together and actually got a physical location, which was in North Carolina. So I moved from there, which I learned Ifa, where I was learning Ifa, still learning. You're always a student. So I moved from St. Petersburg to North Carolina and opened a physical location off of Woodland Avenue. And that was the location that sometimes you'll see around Facebook. At this point, I've currently moved from there, so I'm no longer at that location. And the official Dudu is under the banner that you'll see with the peacock. Anything outside of that is not related to me. There was a split in Dudu. I'm more so say as you do, and if you're really gonna do this, do it. Be wholeheartedly and do it. Do it as you do. It's a lifestyle. So you got the teachings, you know how it is. And if you're really not living that, then, it's just not for me. So for me, I decided to split, with one of the guys that I started with, because of that. I'm really gung-ho on, your word is your bond. And if you say you practicing and this is a lifestyle and you should live it accordingly. There's just certain things you don't do in this particular thing, this particular lifestyle. It's the way you carry yourself, it's the way you act, way you talk, and it's just things you just don't do. And, I just want this to reflect that. And I want everybody that comes in to reflect that. I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, but I am saying that you have to put forth effort to do this. This is a thing that you wake up every day and do. It's not one of those things you do today and I might pick it up next week sometime. No, it's every day. It's a lifestyle. It's just like brushing your teeth, combing your hair, washing your feet. I hope you wash your feet. But it's just like one of those things. So this is just my journey. Like I said, I was introduced in St. Petersburg, Florida. My Lua at the time was Fernando. we had an actual like community there, but it fell apart and I was left astray. And so when I went on my journey to find information, I ran into Ayo Falakun, great guy. He sent me a lot of information. I gathered a lot of information, a lot of publications from a lot of people who wrote about it, wrote about Dudu, what it means, listening to other guys, some really good guys in the community, EFI community, but they're just far away. And a lot of times that's what we run into, that you find good people, but they're really far. And it's hard to get up with those people, or you in a community that they just don't have it. Like it's not readily accessible to you. So that's what this is. So you'll be able to see YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So you'll be able to see this information all over. It's readily accessible. I'm readily accessible. And I'm not arrogant. If it's something I don't know, there are definitely people out here that we can get some good information from. But if you want to go on the journey with me, Dudu Temple is for you. All levels are accepted. You'll be able to go through, we have some programs and stuff like that put together. If you want ceremonies done, you can get some ceremonies done. I have good people that can do those ceremonies for you. If you need readings, I have good people that can do those readings, because we all know that that's one of the biggest things about this. You got to get read, you got to do a bow, and sometimes people who are doing these things just don't have your best intentions at heart. And that was one of the reasons why, again, the split, they came off to kind of do it the way I saw fit in the beginning. Because they just don't have your best interests at heart. And I've been around long enough to know when somebody's kind of like just shooting the smoke at you, man. And they'll do it quickly. They'll ramble off some things, and they think to the average person it sounds great, but to somebody who's been on a journey, you kind of know that they kind of pulling it out of thin air, and it happens a lot. And that what was happening. It was happening in the Dudu classes with the Zoom that we had. So I had to restructure a lot of stuff, rebrand a lot of stuff to make it to where it is now. So if you go online and you take the classes or you're doing anything, the information is a little bit different. It's more structured now. The Facebook stuff, it'll be more structured. And if you don't see the logo, it's not a part of this. And that's pretty much it. This was birthed from, just going through that journey and going through those different hurdles of getting information, good people, bad people, scammers, the whole nine. So this was kind of put together for us, some good outlets, some good people, some good things to look forward to. There's a podcast coming where we'll talk to different Aluos, different Babalawos, to kind of get their perspective, to get like a more consensus across the board. Because it seems, and a lot of times, you'll find that this particular people say, oh, no, we got the best interpretations of this, or we do it better than this. We're not really looking for the competition, we're just looking for the information. And that's kind of what this is. It's a consensus across the board. Okay, how can we move forward with this? And that's all this is about. It's not about me. It's about us, the journey, what we can do together, and how we can all do our part in EFI to, make this a great place. So tune in, Dudu Temple. If you're local in Charlotte, Dudu Botanica. Come check us out. I have all that information listed on the website. So if you want any information about that, go to the website. And as always, if it's not up under the cloak, if you don't see the banner, if you don't see the official labels, it's not with us as far as what we do. It's listed under another brand. They're out there. If you see people in the comments, I don't necessarily comment here. You can always catch me at the website, iadudutemple.org. Or you can catch me on Instagram, iadudutemple.org. Facebook, iadudutemple.org. Everything is Iadudu Temple. And you'll know it by the brain because it all looks the same. You'll notice the peacock. You can't miss the peacock. Hence the name Iadudu Temple, Oshun, represented by the peacock. So it's all one and the same. Iadudu signing out, Adeo Kun. Just giving you more intimate on who I am, why I do what I do, and I hope you take the journey with me. Adabo.